Alright, so in this video I'm going to go over some basics for Act 1 in Diablo 2 version 1.0. Let's see, the map does not even show which version I'm playing. Uh, and why would it? Because it's the very first version. The first thing we'll be going over is some items that you're going to be looking out for in your first character. Actually, I take that back. The first thing we're going to go over is why you are picking Barbarian, or why I recommend picking Barbarian as your first character to play in this version. And that's because Whirlwind is really strong. So the Whirlwind skill attacks once every 2 frames, regardless of your weapon base, which makes it really strong. You don't have to have dual equip, dual wield to get the fastest attack speed. It just always attacks once every 2 frames. Um, the whirlwind mechanic has the range of the attack is messed up. It's kind of buggy, and so the mastery that you're going to pick is spear mastery, so that you can use pikes, which are the easiest high damage weapon to get that also has enough range on it that Whirlwind does not get buggy. If your weapon is too short, it doesn't have a big reach, then a lot of your attacks will automatically miss. So you want to wear a pike, and on your first character, I'm going to recommend that's it. You're just going to go for a pike. Because you want a pike, you'll need 60 strength and 45 dexterity, and I recommend just filling that out first. Dexterity, then strength, and then after that, just everything after that into vitality. Until very high levels, then you might go back up here again. But for Act 1, you just go ahead and fill up your dexterity and your strength to 45 and 60, and then after that, put points in vitality. The dexterity I recommend first so that you can make sure you're able to hit monsters. Attack rating is really important. And the character screen won't give you an accurate representation of the attack rating against monsters you're currently fighting. It tells you against monsters that are your same level, which is not helpful. Other than Spear Mastery and prerequisites for Whirlwind, that's pretty much all you're going to get. You will never use Item Find or Find Item, so you don't need to get Find Potion and Find Item. Find Item does not work properly. It doesn't work the way you think it will, so it's not useful in Classic. Battle Orders I only recommend if you plan to go really high level, like 60 or higher, probably. Um, and so you can see at level 14 I still have 1 unspent skill point because I don't have any available prerequisites, and my Spear Mastery is already full. Okay, so now we'll go over the items, some things you'll need to know. Before, when you are collecting, trash items from monsters to sell, before you sell them, repair them. This will increase the sale cost or the sale value. And so repairing items before you sell it is profitable. It gains you money. For your weapon slot, don't just automatically pick a spear. Don't use a spear until you find one with increased attack speed or slightly increased attack speed. Attack speed is going to be one of at this level, at low levels, the most important modifier you can have on your weapon will be attack speed. So if you can't purchase a spear with increased attack speed, either from Charcy or from Geed, who also sells tridents. See, here's one. Too bad I don't have any money. Hmm. Anyway, um, so he also sells tridents, which have better damage than spear. But the main thing that we're looking for is the increased attack speed on our weapon slot. Also on the glove slot, we want attack speed. So if you don't find one, then you can try to purchase one. I believe Geed will sometimes have gloves in the shop window, as well as Charcy. Not this time. Let's see if I can get one. The other thing you'll notice when trying to purchase items is that there is a magic tab up here. Armor, weapons, magic. There's no glove. Hmm. So armor, weapons, magic, and miscellaneous. The armor and weapons tab will not have magic items, and they will never have magic items. Um, Other than that, the items that you're going to look for is faster run walk or fast run walk on a boot, so you move faster, and then any sort of damage reduction or magic damage reduction on every other slot. Here I have hit recovery because I never found damage reduction. Here I have lifesteal. I found this ring. I got lucky. Lifesteal and mana steal are also good modifiers, but mana steal is less important until you have whirlwind. So I wouldn't necessarily look for a weapon with lifesteal because on your weapon you just want attack speed and for Act 1. Um, let's see. If you have any extra money, what you're going to be spending your extra money on is gambling quilted armor, which costs, I believe, 32.50. And the price does not change while you level up. It's always 32.50. And the way that you refresh the gambling screen is by leaving town. So if you go to gamble and then you leave the screen and you come back, he still has the same items. So to refresh this screen, you have to leave town. So I don't go gambling on purpose at this low level. I just do it whenever every time I visit town. I'll check if he has a quilted armor, but only if I have enough money to buy his quilted armor. What you're looking for is the unique armor gray form, which I might have to show you. I don't think I have it on this guy. No. Do you have it? Gray form. And this is going, if you find it, or eventually when you find it, because you will keep shopping for this forever until you find one. This will be, in general, the armor that you use on your Whirlwind Barbarian forever. Lifesteal, magic damage reduced by 3, and the dexterity are all really powerful. And of course, resistances are nice. But the main thing that I like here is the lifesteal and the armor slot, and magic damage reduced by 3 is a lot stronger than you might think. Um, okay, something that you traditionally like is magic find. And you'd be like, oh wow, I found an amulet with lots of magic find. Or I found a ring with lots of magic find. You do not need magic find in classic. Um, so yeah, just don't worry about it. You find magic find, you sell it. Um, the only time that I would recommend trying to use magic find is if you plan to do the ritual with the dark souls or gloams um, to get infinite magic find. Otherwise, having 100 or 200 magic find doesn't really serve much purpose. Um, okay, so then in Act 1, the places that the way that I will recommend getting experience, the way that I like to do it with my first playthrough, is to take my barbarian and just do a single pass full clear of everything. Now, if that's not what you want to do, you can see I have all these maps fully cleared. If that's not how you want to play it, that's fine. Um, then I will recommend the first place that you stop to try to farm experience is going to be Tristram. Um, and because there's a guaranteed champion spawn kind of to the northwest of Kane. And if you have a good weapon, then you could kill Griswold as well. But the main thing you're going to look for is the champions and the guys around the champions, and you're just going to kill them over and over and over. I personally don't like to do that. I prefer to just do a single pass full clear. And the reason for that is because if you kill the same monsters over and over, then at some point they will be dropping the same items over and over. And so you don't get a chance for new items. All you really get out of them is potentially gold if what they're dropping is worth money. Um, then after Tristram, then I recommend the next place that you might try to grind out some experience is in the jail level 3. And you see in the map over here in the top left of my little mini map, uh, this portion where they have the gargoyle trap and then the guaranteed champion spawn. You'll want to re-roll your map, or I recommend if you're trying to grind out experience this way, to re-roll your map by joining or by hosting a TCP IP game with yourself until this tile spawns very near to your inner cloister stairs. Um, and I recommend that when you're looking for this map, um, so we'll go, you go make your TCP IP game. Do not go to the inner cloister in your TCP IP game. Go ahead and leave it and restart in single player and then go back to the inner cloister to check. The reason is even when you're just playing multiplayer with yourself, you can lag a lot when you're going through waypoints sometimes, and this guy will absolutely kill you. He's a super unique quill rat, and they will just murder you, especially if you're under leveled, which you probably would be if your purpose for re-rolling maps is to get a good map for grinding out experience. Um, then after that, Tristram and the jail level 3, then you should be around level 12 or maybe 13. Um, then you can just go to Andariel. And when you fight Andariel, I recommend that you fill your belt with rejuvenation potions. And then as long as you clear the monsters around her, you can just like sit in her face and drink rejuvenation potions while you poke her with your spear. And it's not really much trouble. Um, I think all things considered, Andariel isn't really that dangerous if you fill your belt with rejuvenation potions. Um, the monsters that you're going to be looking out for as potentially dangerous in in Act One is anything lightning enchanted. Of course, you probably already know that if you've ever played this game before. I did when I did my playthrough here on YouTube. Whenever I fought a lightning enchanted monster, I would back up and try again until I found a position that their lightning did not hit me. Um, Bloodraven, which I wasn't sure I really wanted to include Bloodraven on the list of monsters to watch out for because I think she's less dangerous than most of the others that I'll be mentioning. And since you encounter her early, that's kind of the only real reason she's dangerous. It's because she does deal a decent amount of damage and she moves fast. Uh, Probably you won't really have any problems with Bloodraven. Um, just make sure you have a couple potions with you. Um, Treehead Woodfist is dangerous because he and his minions will put you in hit recovery. And when you go into hit recovery, you'll often need to back up before you attack again, or your next attack will bug and miss automatically. And since there's like 4 of them or 3 of them all hitting you at the same time, you can get kind of stuck in a hit recovery cycle. Um, another monster that's really dangerous is any type of goatman. They deal a lot of damage, and so if you have 3 or 4 of them on you at once, that can be really dangerous. And so you'll might want to kite goatmen if you don't have a lot of physical damage reduction. Um, One thing worth mentioning, and I can show you right here, is that any, whoops, wrong guy. Any unique, uh, is he going to do it? Any unique shaman can raise non-unique shamans back from the dead. He's not doing it. Anyway, um, so you might think, oh, I killed all the shamans. That gets me closer to killing the unique. So there's, I can clear out the monsters better. The unique shaman will raise the shamans who then raise the fallens. It's not dangerous. It's just something to be aware of because you can easily get surrounded in those camps. Um, and so if you're not paying attention, then it could potentially be dangerous. Besides that, any melee type champion packs, especially Goatmans, Ghoul Lords, and the Arachnids, the spiders, when they spawn as champions, they deal a lot of damage, and they can kill you very easily, especially if you're underleveled. Um, but even if you're not underleveled, they do a lot of damage, and since they're 3 or 4 of them at a time, if they kind of get all up on you at the same time, you could die very quickly. Um, and then finally, the last monster I think worth mentioning is probably the most dangerous monster in Act 1 is the Smith. And depending on how much life you have, he'll kill you in 2 or 3 hits potentially. Um, so you really got to be careful around him. You might use like stun or bash to try to get a little, uh, I guess, crowd control on him. It's not like necessary, but it doesn't hurt. I didn't really use them much because I don't have any mana steal and I don't have any mana per kill. So I just used standard attack. And standard attack is perfectly fine to get you all the way through Act 1, no problems. Uh, you just have to be careful with the Smith because he will hit you very hard. Uh, so I think that's kind of most of the key points for Act 1. Um, the important bits, what items to look for, what monsters to watch out for, and how you're going to spend your stats and skills. All right.